Two-stroke fans, woods riders, off-road racing insiders, I got to show you a bike that's near and dear to me because I love it and I don't think I'll ever sell it, ever. Who knows what this is at first glance? Well, if you said 2002 Kawasaki KX 250, you are right on the money. 99, 2000, and 2001 will also be acceptable because they all look the same during that time frame. So here's the story on this one, guys. I bought this bike new in 2003 as a leftover. Are you ready for this? Out the door for $3,700. Those were the days, huh? Love this bike. Did a little bit of motocross racing, but as you can see, where my parents live here about 20 miles east of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it's a very wooded area. It was great for trail riding, so this became a trail bike. So what I did is instead of switching to a Husky or a KTM, I made some modifications to set this thing up for the woods, and I want to show you. Put a Gold Series FMF Gnarly pipe on it. This really gave it a lot of low-end bite. Really happy with the way this bike performs. And I'm going to show you some of the customization I did. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you have any tricks, I want to hear them. And there really is no wrong answer because we all like bikes a different way. Let me tell you this too. By the time I restored this thing a few years ago, the wheels were in rough shape after all the hours I put on it. Brand new wheels. And if you notice on the back, that is not a 19-inch stock Kawasaki rear wheel. That's an 18-inch. That's great for the woods. Gives you a better tire selection for woods tires as well. A fatter tire, and that's all about gripping rocks and roots and not necessarily flying over 120-foot triples like Ricky Carmichael used to do back in the day in these bikes. But set up correctly, they can be very, very effective. Got a new front wheel as well. DID, Dirt Star, help from Woody's Wheel Works. Thanks so much, guys. Upgraded the braking, as you can see. Help getting it stopped in the woods. We don't get up too fast, though, in some of the tight single track stuff, but still, you need a good front brake. Cooling system upgraded. Check it out. Myler's radiator. This has done wonders for keeping the bike cool back in the tight stuff. Also put in the Boysen covers and also the Boysen impeller. This flows a little more water through the bike, keeps it cool. I think it's done a great job at that. Bark Busters, Pro Bend, you know that. You won't see too many of these on the starting gate on a motocross race, but they are essential in the woods. You guys who run woods know exactly what I'm talking about there. Now, perhaps one of the most overlooked areas of the motorcycle, the suspension. Moto Lab set this one up for me, and I love how they dialed it in. Rob Kosler took my weight, my riding ability, and my application because there is a big difference depending on what you want to do. And I told him this is going to primarily be a woods bike. He did a great job. It's very, very soft. It handles everything I need to throw at it, and it's still set up to where you can hit some jumps. If you want to hit some small jumps, it's not going to bother you. In terms of the seats, how about this, guys? This was a big upgrade. SDG, thank you for this wonderful seat that I put on the bike. You know, back in the day, I remember with all my 125s that I ran through, you'd always look for a new seat cover because that would easily get ripped every time you crashed the bike. Well, here, this seat is about the same price as the seat cover. So my recommendation is just get an entire new seat because from 2002, the foam was badly worn out there. There's something you want to do with your two-stroke as well, especially if you got a lot of hours on it. You know that you want to stay after regular piston changing, piston and rings. You can check the interval on that. You'll know when the bike loses a little bit of compression, but there's more than just that. After a while, you can get a technician to check it out and measure everything for you, but you hear getting these bikes re-nickel-sealed, recoated, makes an old bike feel new again, and I gotta say, that was the case with this one. I sent the cylinder off to Millennium Technologies. They also inspected the power valve and found a couple things wrong there that we were able to correct. Brand new coating, brand new piston. Boy, did this bike just come right back alive. After I put so many hours on this thing, you know, around 2010, 2011, 2012, we were riding every single weekend, and it really just was able to bring it back to life. You guys can tell it's fall, and I've been out for a few already. Sorry, a few leaves falling, but here's something I want to show you. Gotta have a skid plate if you're gonna ride in the woods. That's essential with everything that can come up and potentially jam into your cases. New foot pegs too, I really like these. These are the IMS Super Stock pegs, a lot wider. Back in the woods, I spend a lot of time weighting the pegs, up on the peg, and this just seems like it makes it a lot easier to grip. So absolutely loving those, and I love the way this bike came out. Something recently too, you never believe this, guys. After all these years, here's the weird stuff that can go wrong. I see the factory guys always like these billet oil caps. Well, finally, the other day, my rubber cap broke. There was oil oozing out of that, and the cap was broke. I guess since 2002, it was just finally time to let go. So I called up Motorsport and got a replacement there. But this bike is so much fun. I love it. It's enjoyable. I love the sensation, the smell. And I'll be the first to admit, is it a brand new Beta? Is it a brand new KTM? Is it a brand new trail bike? No, of course it's not. And I think in my last video, some of you said, what about the flywheel weight? That is a popular upgrade, but again, it all comes down to selection. The reason I don't like it is I have no complaints with how this motor performs. It's got enough low end for me, and it still sings like a motocross bike up top, and I love that. I did change the gearing a little bit. We're a little bit deeper for a little bit more bite in the woods, but other than that, I love it. I did hear with a flywheel weight, you can lose a little bit on top, but I've also ridden bikes with flywheel weights that perform magnificently as well. It's all about that personal preference. So much fun. Ton of fun, very reliable, very simplistic as well. I think someday I may want to put the stock plastic back on. Isn't it something how things change that you immediately want to make your bike look more modern with cool graphics? Then it gets to be 20 years old and you're like, man, I want to make it look stock again. And speaking how things have changed, get a load of this. And if you're in the know and you collect bikes or you love two-strokes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. At one point, I want to say around like 2011, when the four-strokes were really, really popular and getting faster, this bike would sell. I would see them locally advertised for about $800, $900. That's how low they sunk to. And now, fast forward to today's age, two-strokes are collectible and they're hard to find. This bike has skyrocketed in value. What's it worth now with all these parts? You might think I'm crazy. I think I could get $3,500 for it. But again, I don't ever want to sell it because I love it. A lot of my friends have sold bikes. They've sold their YZ250s. They sold their KXs. They sold their CRs, and they wish they still had them. So I'm like, unless I have to part with it, I don't want to part with this one. I want to go out and have fun with it and just keep rebuilding it because it's super easy to rebuild. But if you think that's crazy, guys, I covered the two-stroke nationals out in Glen Helen, California. You have to check out some of the videos that we featured on this channel. And with California prices out there, Mark Tilley from Dirt Bike Magazine, he told me they went and got like a smoked, whooped out 99 RM250 for like $4,500 because they're so hard to find. It's California. And then they said they rebuilt everything. So we're seeing it in the street bike world. We're seeing it with vintage dirt bikes, and I think it's coming even for these ones. Collectability, guys. Collectability, they're coming. So that's why I'm not getting rid of this one. But for now, I'm not taking my one friend's suggestion and draining the gas and looking at it. As cool as that would be, I'm gonna go ride it. I'll never sell it. Who doesn't love that sound? Who doesn't love that smell? Oh. Here's something else I want to say too. To my point about how I have no complaints about the motor, I looked it up. Yamaha is really the only one that has stuck with the 250 in this form, the YZ250. 2023 makes 49 horsepower, I believe, 48, 49. This machine, 2002, 44 horsepower. So it's right in the ball game. And if you're riding tight single track, it's plenty enough. It's so much fun. And smell it. I hope you can smell it. I hope you love it, guys. Thanks for stopping back. Let me know down below your favorite two-stroke, your favorite modifications, what you think I should do with this bike, and check out all there is to see on this channel. It's about cool motorcycles, and I want to see yours. You never know where I'll end up. So thank you so much for watching. If you like that video, here's another one for you. Subscribe right in the middle, and you know if there's anything old school dirt bikes, two-strokes, or KX 250s, we're in. Cycle drag rolls on.